For more on all of this, we are joined now by business journalist and host of Public Radio's Full Disclosure, Roben Farzad. Roben, welcome to the show. We really appreciate your time and your perspective on all of this. We saw how Trump's pullback of his so-called reciprocal tariffs last week really rallied the markets, if only for a little bit. There was hope there that these exemptions on electronics would offer another reprieve from Trump's trade wars. But then the White House now out with this, saying that those exemptions will not be permanent. Are we in for another roller coaster ride with the markets?
There is so much dissonance and confusion. I would hope that someone like Howard Lutnick, who's a storied, Wall Street veteran out there who can speak in common terms, can come out and explain this in a way that wouldn't confuse people. But he's citing 202, 405, carve outs, exemption, national security. It's only ever more confusing for traders, for mom and pop, for people who are wanting to divine whether this is a bluff or this is going to happen. Are there carve outs for semiconductors, for smartphones? Do you buy an iPhone this week? Can you hold off because the iPhone is going to be carved out? And I think the more they do this, the more this continues, it becomes a cry wolf thing, and you don't take the White House and economic advisors so seriously.
Yeah, I was just speaking with a soybean farmer yesterday who said precisely that. Even outside of soybean, the product, fertilizer, steel, all these other tariffs that are still in place make it very difficult to plan for the future. Now, the White House says that the goal with this Section 232 study and potential tariffs for electronics is to encourage manufacturing in the U.S. of products critical to national security. But Roben, is that realistic? Can the U.S. feasibly make all of these semiconductors and smartphones necessary to simultaneously protect national security and then provide affordable products for U.S. consumers at the same time?
No, not with a 6-month turnaround or a 12-month turnaround or even with an 18-month turnaround. And you're talking, you're the White House. You're saying that these companies can just decide to build this stuff from scratch. Tabula Rosa here in the United States. Do you understand how many decades of inputs and iteration China and even Apple put into their supply chains there? How entire cities are built around refining processes, refining sourcing, getting this out. When Tim Cook of Apple says, go, build me this watch with this form factors, that they can, scramble the jets overnight to do that. I can't imagine doing that in the current United States. You don't have the workforce. You don't have the work ethic necessarily, and the factory hours and the people willing to toil in anonymity, piecing these things together. You're talking about dormitories there and cafeterias and 24/7 throughput. So I think it's a great ideal to bring these jobs back, but I don't recall when we last built, great electronics in the United States, not in my adult lifetime at least.
Now, Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren likened Trump's tariff policies to essentially a game of red light, green light, a start and stop approach that is rattling businesses and global markets alike. But Trump ran on these very same tariff policies he is now putting into place. I mean, he famously said that tariff is his favorite word in the dictionary behind God, religion, and love. So why is it that these business leaders seemingly are so unprepared for what's happening?
And to be fair, he's been consistent about this for more than 40 years. Go back and pull up YouTube videos of him on the Oprah Winfrey Show before he was, MAGA Republican person, when he was really just a, New York City developer who'd like to chime in on how the Japanese were stealing our bacon in the 1980s. And then it became the Chinese. Then it became the Mexicans. It's been a favorite bête noire of his. So at least he's consistent in doing that. And as I've said before, there's a whole generation of American workers of cities that have been cored out by the gains of globalization and NAFTA and everything else that Trump and his party have been shaking their fist at. So they believe this. They believe that wait and see. And I think a big part of it is the revenge, frankly, owning the system that ended up owning them and diminishing their standards of living.
Roben Farzad, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Isabel.